Alright, hello everyone. I'm here for the first DMV chess tournament of 2021, I believe. Is that correct, Justin?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so for any new players, I'm National Master Nikolas Theiss, and this is National Master Justin Burgess, and let's do some commentary. Do you want to start with the K3?
Ooh, switching it up for the new
Yeah,
year.
because they're so fast, you know?
Yeah, that's true. They're speedy.
And they're very speedy.
So, oh wow, this is amazing because when I was just noticing who was signing up for our tournaments this week, I was like, man, wouldn't it be so great if we could look at a game from Tidy Teal Tulip?
Hmm.
What a
Mm-hmm.
name!
Yeah, that's very much a password name.
Yeah.
And it's also alliteration, so it's easier to remember. I
Oh,
mean,
exactly.
so much good stuff. Black is up a pawn,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to trade queens. Yeah, not a bad
Makes
idea.
sense.
Not a bad
Yeah.
idea when you're up a pawn. I also want to point out, like, at some point, I really like the idea of d4 and then just making the e pawn into a passer. Like, I don't think it works now or anything, but, like,
Mm-hmm.
someday.
Maybe play Rook AD8 and then do D4 just so you don't
Don't even want to give the
lose
pawn.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very, very measured. Mm.
Although it is hard to turn down that C file, that rook, rook
Yeah, rook
AC8.
AC1, or yeah, AC8 to C2 if you get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, lots of attractive options for black.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only way to go wrong is d4, e takes d4, queen takes b3.
Oh, nice,
And
nice
then the queen on
variation.
g3 covers b3.
Yep.
I also thought this, like, it doesn't go wrong because there's no, like, rook takes, well, even rook takes g7 I guess wouldn't work, but there's no, like, rook f8
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I don't know if I like aligning the queens like this.
Yeah. I I wish, like, if I were white, I wish my queen on G3 were protected. Then I could play rook takes E4.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't protected by the king. Rook takes e4, queen
And
takes
then check.
queen. Yeah, trade the rooks on e8 with check, and then recapture the queen with something.
Yeah, that's the reason King H2 doesn't threaten, unfortunately.
Right, because then rook takes e4, queen takes g3 is check, and you end up losing a rook. Let's check the k5 too.
Mm-hmm.
So how about chess Natalis? I don't
Is
know
that how
to
you say
pronounce.
it?
No, I don't think it is.
I thought it was like Nautilus or something.
Yeah,
You
I mean
said
it's like a
something about
submarine, right? Like
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know for sure though.
yeah. I get
Okay.
all the names wrong.
Hmm. I like
White.
Black's position, I
Yeah, I
think.
mean White has the two bishops, but they're not particularly great bishops. Like the bishop on h2 is
Mm-hmm.
just staring at the pawn, and even this bishop on h2, like it's hard to get it a better future, you know.
Yeah.
Like there are some people, like these young kids, they have bright, promising futures, and then there's me. Like I'm like this bishop. I'm stuck, Justin. It's never gonna work
And
out.
almost on cue, like White offered a draw and Black declined it, like right as
Hmm.
we were saying all that.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but it's very hard because even like g3 drops the h3 pawn.
Mm-hmm. Would you play G4 here for Black
It
or
wasn't
no?
my first thought, but
Okay.
why would we play g4?
Just to try to open up the G file and get some activity, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I want to do some more improving moves first, but maybe we're kind
Mm-hmm.
of running out of improving moves.
Like on the queen side, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't really know what they are. I don't know if a6.
A6
Yeah, I don't know that that one improves so much.
probably doesn't hurt, but yeah, it's hard to move the B pawn or the C pawn, obviously.
Right,
So,
because of d-stability. Yeah, and knight b4, just like a3 or something. So
mm-hmm.
maybe you can get the knight to
To
d3 then, but
D3.
I don't know
Yeah,
if that's really such a huge improvement.
right. Because then if you have to eventually go back or to F4 someday, you're giving White a chance to get rid of their troublesome bishop.
Okay. So knight e3 check doesn't work because pawn takes e3 defends the rook on d4, but that's an
Mm.
important point.
Yep.
Yeah, another thing about g4 is that, like, after pawn takes, bishop takes. Well, maybe that's not the right order, but g4, bishop takes d5. That still looks also fine. I was thinking about opposite colored bishop stuff, but
Hmm. Maybe we just like overhyped this position for black, and really wasn't that much.
yeah, it's hard to make progress without giving away the positional advantages.
Hmm.
Oh, but I mean, this I'm happy to see if I'm black, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. I guess bishop takes. What would you do to punish it? Trade the bishops, or?
Well, I would. Yeah, I mean, I want to trade the bishops, although I was hoping they would take on e6. Although I can't force them to.
Hmm. Now I'm assuming rook takes, so that you pressure g5.
Yeah, I think that that's what white should do, and then probably you have to go rook g8.
Hmm. But
But I
then
want
after
to.
that, king e6,
Yeah,
and
king e6. Like, I just want to improve a little more,
hmm.
and the bishop is very stuck. I mean, eventually now it'll go bishop g1 and then f3, maybe.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Alright, I guess we should take a look at the k8 too. So Terry Liang against Flying Ninja.
Yep.
Wow, these guys. This looks like some kind of real opening was played. Oh, maybe not.
The first thing that stands out to me is this knight on b6. It looks very awkward.
Yeah, I
Somehow.
mean, I'm going through the opening, so black played knight b6 on move 8, I think to control the d5 square.
Hmm.
Because they played e5 and c5 on the first two moves, so they very willingly just gave white this amazing outpost on d5.
Yeah, I feel like against c4, the English, there's two very common ways to play against that are one e5 or one c5, and black decided to do both.
Yeah, mix and match. But now black has no pawns that control the d5 square. So I think that's.
Also, yeah,
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think that's why the knight ended up on b6, but I like black is his pieces are not very organized, at least.
Yeah, I was going to say after c5 and e5, it seems like the natural way to develop your b8 knight would be to c6 and possibly d4 someday. Knight d7 feels a little strange in combination with those two moves.
Yeah. I mean the different or the I don't know what you would call it, but like one point that's worth mentioning is you can play knight c6 and you can eye the d4 square, but because white hasn't played e4, they might just play e3 and keep you out.
Hmm.
Like, not that your idea was bad, but that's kind of why this is a good pawn structure for white, I feel like.
Hmm. Yeah, black is committed to a d5 weakness, but white has not done the same thing for d4.
Yeah, white also has a pretty pleasant space advantage on the queen side and the pressure down the a-file, so I would definitely prefer to have white's position.
Yep.
I think, yeah, I kind of expected bishop c6.
Hmm.
And it
But
could
now the
be.
pawns are going to get split.
Yeah, but at least then you control d5 again. Like, I don't know if I would
Yeah.
take if I was white. Although the point about the a-pawn becoming isolated is a good one too. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit like I did about that game with the two bishops. Like, I liked white's position, but I don't really see anything concrete.
Hmm. I just feel, yeah, I like this one more than the other one, I think. I would take on c6 and then just try to apply long-term pressure down the A file with my major pieces.
Hmm. So, like, bishop takes c6, pawn takes c6. Would you go rook a2 right away, or?
Maybe. I was also eyeing knight a5, and then maybe the queen could come in to the A file through b3 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because one idea I was going to try to make work for black was at some point playing d5 and wanting to take on b4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of the only problem with this is that b4 gets a little weakened.
Yeah. And I wish actually I could just move my rook on a8 over my queen to the d8 square. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the queen on b8. Like, if in case of bishop takes c6, pawn takes c6, I wanted my queen on the b file, but that didn't end up happening. Maybe queen c7 here. I think this rook on a8 is our worst piece as black.
Yeah, probably so.
There's also that d5 move again, d5, maybe c5. How would you react to d5? I think that's an instructive question, potentially.
I think I think c5, probably.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. Alright, how about, Ash Mage in the K12?
Yeah, sure.
Against Mr. Forky Dude. Oh, but maybe this one won't be that exciting because...
Okay. Should I pull it up?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up. I mean, it's worth talking about, but I think
Okay.
white might be losing material soon. They're in a nasty pin down the e file.
What about f4 and then...
Well, I was thinking queen e4, but you're saying f4, f6, you have queen takes c4, which is a really good point.
But yeah, queen e4 is also doing the job, I think. Well, yeah. Or is it?
Knight f6, maybe. And if you take on c4, I take on e5.
But can black just take the piece, though, is I think the main thing we should calculate. Like, rook takes e5.
Yeah, of course. But, yeah, rook takes e5. Rook takes is better than knight takes, I think, so that there's no, like, f4 stuff at some point. Yeah, no, this is a good point. To be honest, I didn't even count. Like, I didn't even see that e5 was still hanging after queen
So maybe
e4.
f4 was kind of mandatory.
Yeah, back in this position after knight d7. f4. And we're not really going to get, like, anywhere close to enough, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't even know if we don't even get to take the g7 pawn, sadly.
Yeah, and queen e1 is a mate threat now.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, when I was pointing out that we don't get to take g7, I was actually just noticing the mate. I wasn't even noticing the fact that the black queen would be guarding it.
Yeah, like, I would have been so much happier if, like, somehow there was no pawn on f7 and we got to go queen h8. For some reason they had to play king e7 and then we at least got g7 with check. Like, that would feel like, you know, maybe we're still losing, but we have practical hope. And here there's not much hope. I'm going to cycle back to the Tidy Teal Tulip game, which is, it's a ladder check.
Just finished.
Yep. So,
maybe we can pick a different game from that section.
Yeah, I think we should. I'm just going to quickly go through.
Sure.
Yeah, so at some point that d4 move happened. Kind of instructive, actually. Here, on move 43, they took on b3 with check, and then white had to play king d4 to defend the rook, and black took on h3, which was winning, but rook b4 check was maybe an easier win. Because then you get the rook.
Yes.
Alright, but yeah, let's find another k3 game. How about
Chess
go ahead.
Stone and John H. Southridge? I think they're both at...
Okay.
Oh, and that just ended.
Oh, no.
Right? Oh, man. It looked like it was going to be exciting a few moves ago, but then...
Yeah, they were kind of both attacking. Although black did have an extra bishop.
After 36 c3, I mean... Well, b takes c3 really surprised me, but maybe after b3 you were losing anyway after rook d2. Wait. Yeah. Wasn't b3 better?
I think it has to be better than taking, yeah. But b3...
Because if rook d2, then rook e8 check.
Right, rook d2, rook e8 check, and followed by promoting. But I think after b3, just queen d6 looks pretty killing to me. Because I'm threatening queen d2 and queen takes a2, a3, sorry. Maybe b4...
and queen takes a3, yeah.
I mean, maybe b4 is a better try, but I still think queen d6
Queen d2
is...
still wins a rook after that.
I mean, sorry, on move 37, b4 instead of b3. And then queen d6 only has
Oh.
the queen d2 threat, but it's still a very strong threat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what you do about that.
True.
King b1, maybe.
Okay. Well, that game is finished too.
Yeah, I was gonna
so-
suggest Fun Yellow Tango against
Ooh.
Grant Way. Because first of all,
Nice.
look at this position. Like, and second of all,
Okay.
Fun Yellow Tango. Tango is another totally password username.
Yeah, that's fun to say.
But man, like this looks like some kind of chess variant. I mean, Black's king is on a6, surrounded by
Racing kings.
like four white pieces.
Uh-huh.
White's king is on f4, surrounded by all of Black's remaining pieces, which conveniently aren't very developed.
Uh-huh. Is
And-
f6 checkmate?
Oh
This
my
is
gosh,
amazing.
yeah, that's a checkmate.
Holy cow.
King e5 was too bold with the king.
It looks so safe until you notice after f6 there's just nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, checkmate in the center of the board is always surprising. I don't know if I would say it looks so safe, though, because when my opponent is
Yeah.
attacking me, I usually try to go away from their pieces.
Yeah, king g3 is obviously...
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have done that.
Oh, it can stage
Whoa, now
5.
rook a8 mate.
Oh! Oh man, so white has a mate in 1 too. Or mate in 2, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's
bishop,
not mate.
bishop a7 is forced.
Uh-huh. Oof, that's a tough one. f6.
Wow.
Whoa.
Man. I mean, that was a crazy end to that game.
Mm-hmm. Good call going
Yeah, I'm
there.
glad we caught the end of that. Computer
Do you want to pick yet
confirms.
another game, or just
Yeah,
keep
sure.
cycling?
Like, what about Calm Skillful Spy? These are all like, I think these
Wow.
parents have found the site we use to get the passwords for the tournaments. Like,
I think so.
they're really coming up with some good names. This is another interesting position. I mean, I want to. Man, it doesn't quite work. Like, bishop c5, rook takes b7, rook d8, but then the rook on b7 goes back to e7.
Oh yeah.
Also, like bishop c5.
Ooh,
that one I
This
wouldn't.
is just
I wouldn't
forced
have.
mate. Oh,
Oh,
no, it's
really?
not. King takes.
Yeah,
king
king
takes.
takes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If rook takes, it's forced mate.
Bishop c5, rook takes b7. Man, like if that knight wasn't there, I would go do
Mhm.
some stuff. There's
So
many
bishop
cool
c5 now,
ideas.
right?
Yeah, bishop c5 now for sure. And then I think black doesn't really have a good move because king f8 loses to rook d8 check, followed by king g8, rook takes e8 mate. And a lot of the other rook moves will like lose the rook potentially, like rook
What about
rook c8.
here?
Yeah, I think rook c8 is the only move to try.
Because then white can check and pick up the e5 knight, but the c5 bishop will also be hanging.
Yeah, so rook c8 I was thinking about rook e6, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
A double
and then
check.
king, yes, and then king d7 or something.
Yeah, and then maybe
What would your...
I'm running out of stuff.
Because what I was saying is if you take the knight, then I take the bishop.
Yeah, but then maybe I'm going to hit you with bishop e6.
Bishop e6 check.
Yes, and your bishop on
Ugh.
h3 is going to be a problem. Because you'll play
Is there
like...
any place else I could have moved my king after the rook e6?
Well, rook e6 you could go king
King.
d8, but then I have... So
Bishop b6.
exactly. I have bishop
And then e5
b6.
is falling for free.
Yeah.
Okay.
So rook e6 maybe wins after rook c8. Which is a pretty
Yep.
nice... Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of these double check lines.
And rook d8 doesn't work just because of rook e6 check, I guess, and take on e5.
Yeah. Maybe there's nothing better, sadly.
What about knight d7?
Well, yeah. Rook e6, king d8, and I don't have bishop b6 because the knight covers it. So maybe knight d7 is now the front runner. Maybe knight d7, I'll just play bishop
a3.
Yeah, just like, okay, like you got away for one move, but, try and get away again.
The checks are still coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, there it
so
is,
now we'll see if white finds rook e6.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to find, like, kind of hard to think,
Right.
yeah, I should just move my rook to a square that 3 pieces can take it.
Well, I thought you were going to say, like, rook e6 is findable, but what's hard is realizing the bishop e6 check move at the end of the line.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one's, like, it's kind of a long line, but I think even the first move is not, like, 100% to be played.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like, the line only works because after, so rook e6, king d7, rook takes e5, rook takes c5, bishop e6 check, so a discovered attack on the rook that's now on c5, black's rook. And so black has to defend it with like king d6, and then after the trade of rooks on c5, you pick up the bishop on h3. So there's kind of a lot going on there that you have to realize.
I guess black should take on e6 with the bishop, and then white takes on c5, and black takes on a2, or something like that.
Yeah. Probably. But I think
white should probably still win that.
Yeah, and the cleanest way, I think, in that line that you're talking about, so rook e6, king d7, rook c5, or rook e5, rook c5, bishop e6, bishop takes e6, rook takes c5. No, because your king is on d7, so I don't have king c6. Bishop takes a2. And if rook a5, there's bishop c4.
Mm-hmm. And I get to keep the pawn at least.
Yeah, at least you have this passer.
Ooh.
So yeah, here rook takes c5.
Doesn't rook takes a6 actually just lose?
Yeah. This is a mistake, like, I think that's very easy to make. Like, you think you're making a discovered check, so you're safe, but the piece that's giving the check can still be taken.
Right.
I think black is going to find it. Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so maybe we should move on.
Yeah, sure. K5 section? Ooh,
yeah, fun style lost.
One.
Yep. I didn't even try to pronounce it. I'm very smart. Who should we look at next?
Oh, that was the game that we liked black's position too, but then it turned around eventually. Okay. I don't know.
How about AT, man? It's kind of an interesting material imbalance. Like, white has a bishop and a rook against a queen and a pawn. So
what was the username? Oh, at man maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah.
So this is good for black, definitely, but like still some play left, maybe. I don't really know what should white do here, Justin. Rook gf1.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't like using my rook just to babysit a pawn, but I don't really like f3, queen f2. Because queen f2 just pressures a lot of stuff.
Not sure. Like, it's not so easy to get your bishops going. I don't like this bishop on h5.
Yeah, on the one hand it's very safe, but on the other hand it's on the edge of the board and black can kind of just work around it. Maybe queen f2 I should be trying to play like bishop f7 to d5. Just to...
Yeah, I think that's a good rerouting. Bishop f7 and then something.
Yeah, because if my bishop gets on e4, like, then he's really turned his life around. I mean, he went from the edge of the board to the center of the board.
I kind of wanted to move this bishop on d2 also. Like, I kind of want to play...
I want to get that one to, like, c3 or something.
A3 and
oh, bishop b4. Yeah, some pressure on d6.
I mean, I wanted to go bishop c3 right away, but I figured black would do b4 if we do that.
Hmm. Yeah.
By the way, we also, not that we have to switch games or anything, but we also have two players at 3 out of 3 playing in this section, and their game looks interesting. Bonnie and Charlie's.
Okay, yeah, let's take a look. So black is probably thinking about if they can take the pawn on e4, right?
Yeah, probably so.
What's the answer to that question?
I don't know. The other thing, oh no, never mind. I was wondering if this knight on b5 was trapped, but it's not even close.
Yeah, it
bishop
has
takes
knight.
e4, right?
It has knight. Yeah, bishop takes e4, knight takes c3. I guess you would have to play f5.
Oh, I was thinking bishop takes g2 check was the threat.
Oh no, yeah. So discovered. Attack on the queen. Yeah.
But this might back. So bishop takes e4, queen g3 check, king moves, and then knight takes c3 or something.
Yeah, it just feels very like my skin kind of crawls when I'm thinking about taking a pawn and going into a pin. Like,
yep.
I have the feeling that I might regret it because many times before I've done it and I've regretted it. Okay, so rook a5, and I guess if knight takes c3, he wants to play rook takes a3.
Is there any knight d5 tricks there, though?
Yeah, I feel like there might be, because knight d5, rook takes e3, you take black's queen with check, and then afterwards you recapture the rook, you're ahead in exchange.
Yeah, so knight takes c3 might be a nice little trick here.
Yeah, rook takes a3, knight d5.
You can't just move the queen, because then you would lose your rook for free.
What do you mean? Like, I was going to say that you could play queen d6, but there's knight f6 check. Is that what you were talking about, or something?
No, I mean,
oh yeah, because it's attacked twice. Yeah. Okay, so rook takes a3 is just totally out then. There's not even...
Yeah.
What do you do instead? Rook e5?
Oh. Will Charlil see knight d5? He's kind of like incentivized to because he's in this pin.
Yeah, I feel like he might see it.
Take first.
No, I feel like he might see it just because... Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's some chance that he actually was planning it. And if he was planning it, he definitely sees it. If you don't see it, what do you do? I guess maybe, yeah, you have to trade on a3.
Yeah, could be just a trade coming, maybe.
You know what would be funny is if we saw, like, rook takes a3, queen takes a3, knight d5, trade, rook takes, and then, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rook takes e4, rook takes e4, bishop takes, knight f6.
Yeah.
I mean, knight f6 a move sooner than what I said would be even better, but... It would be funnier to have it all the way at the end.
Well, I don't know if this was his plan anymore because...
Yeah, he's thinking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, this is also a good place to, like, spend some extra time, even if you do see it and you're pretty sure it works, because it's relatively complicated in the sense that a lot of stuff is going to be hanging, and it's also, if it works, it's very strong, so you can kind of afford.
Right, he might see it and just be calculating the line multiple times, making sure he does win an exchange.
Yeah. Oh, he goes for it. Nice.
Okay, nice find.
Yep. And yep, takes the queen with check.
After black takes on e4, this probably still is not that easy to win.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think,
Yeah.
would you go bishop takes e4 to hope for that bishop takes g2 check trick?
Probably not. Well, I don't know.
I think rook takes e4 is pretty hopeless, actually. Like, just trade them and then play c3, maybe. And I think it's actually, like, it's easier to win those exchange up endings than you might
What
think.
would be your plan? To bring the king over and then sack somewhere on...
Yeah, I'll just bring the king over. Like, eventually, I don't know, if you sit with your bishop on e6, I'll bring my king to d4 and then take on c4 or something. That should be good enough.
Yeah.
I had a lot of these exchange up endings at the Denver Open.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say last year, but I guess, it's 2019. Yeah, this I think is good technique from white.
I like bishop takes c4 better now, maybe.
Yeah,
Just
when you
'cause,
can't double and get in the pin.
Mhm.
I mean, there was f5 there. Although, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So now, right, rook c3. And if bishop takes, rook takes, yeah. So I think this one's quickly...
This will be even easier.
Yeah, because you're up the c pawn without having given back the exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should bounce to another game.
Yeah, let's get back to the k8 and k12. So, Flying Ninja, that was the game with...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the
so...
bad queen and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like b5... b5 kind of surprised me, and I think taking on b5 also surprises me. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you don't take on b5, you're ending up with that isolated a pawn anyways.
Yeah, that's what I kind of liked taking on b5.
But taking
knight
on...
takes c4, does that work? Wow.
No, it didn't work because of queen d3.
I was thinking d5 after this check on c6 with the queen and then king g1. I thought d5 was his idea.
Yeah. Maybe he was worried about e5 hanging at some point, but you gotta get some kind of activity. And I don't think it was, because like d5, pawn takes d5, knight f takes d5, or maybe... Oh, you can't even take because the b5 knight hangs. Yeah. I don't know what I was saying, Justin. I mean, d5, bishop takes e5, pawn takes c4, so...
Yeah, it's okay. I feel like white just probably missed the move queen to d3, because it might have been the only move that protects both of these knights.
Yeah. They still have two pawns for the piece, but it's looking pretty grim. Like, the attack doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Knight d6 is a threat, the d5 pawn is blockaded. Maybe you need to, like, knight g4 to e5 to f3, or... I don't know.
Yeah, I could see something crazy happening on these light squares.
Yeah.
Shouldn't, but might.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to play a move like knight g4 right now because I don't want to lose any time, but I just don't think I can allow knight d6. Oh.
Queen e5.
Okay, so knight d6, I guess that queen e7 is the plan?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. But then rook takes b7.
Exactly, isn't there rook takes b7? Yeah, this looks very, very grim. Queen e7, you could also toss in like knight on 4 to f5 if you wanted. Oh, this one. Okay, this I like a lot better, right? Like...
Yeah, I guess white has to do queen b4.
Yeah. Yeah, still going to be good for white. We haven't looked at the k12 in a really long time.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Ashmage,
Mr. Forky did
win. Just traded the queens, good technique. And I'm going to open up Chess P and Slightly Llama, both of those games.
Okay.
So Chess P is another exchange up ending, but this one feels a lot more holdable because this E3 pawn is pretty advanced and passed.
Yeah, it's a nice pawn.
Probably try to get the king in. What were you going to ask?
I was just going to say, what was the other game you had mentioned?
Oh, Slightly Llama I also pulled up.
Ah, okay.
Because, first of all, password username. Second of all, king is on G3.
Sightly Llama, by the way.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah.
Ooh, this king, yeah. Ugh.
It reminds me of a bughouse position because there's plenty of, like, with the bishop on c8 bughouse games. I've one where you play like bishop at f2 check, king h3, and then knight e3, and eventually bishop takes g4 mate.
Nice.
So f4, queen takes c5,
knight
knight
e4, some
e4.
interference going on. Queen f2 is not possible, so...
Queen
what
f2
about
is
rook
not
takes
possible.
b4?
Well, let me put one on for you, Justin. How about just bishop
Okay.
e1?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And then king h3, maybe rook takes e4 then.
Well, maybe queen h5 then, Justin. Let me put another one.
Okay, okay.
Sorry to be such an accurate Alan, but
If mate is really what you're looking for, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to find ways to do tactics, man. Yep, that's good.
yeah. I mean, you can play rook takes e4, and you still have all the same threats, plus you took a knight and you're attacking their queen, so... Arguably, your move is even better.
It's flashier, but it's not better.
Well, yeah. I mean, you get to enjoy the game longer. Oh, here we go.
Bishop e1, there it is.
Yep. I really wanted somehow, like... Well, it never would have worked, but I wanted there to be, like, no g-pawn so that we could have a bishop f1 mate. Like, that would have been...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, also the knight is hanging, so... You know, we need to put, like, white's pawn on g2 on g4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's king g2, so... Never lucky. Never lucky.
So hard to construct mates.
I know. Alright, and in the... Yeah, so chess P is going, I think, for b4, and I think that black is stopping it.
Yeah, I think white should bring the king to f3 and then maybe play b4 anyway.
Yeah. And I think black should bring the king also.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should bring the king. You know what would be kind of interesting is, like, imagine some line... Like, I don't really know how it's going to happen, but let's say, like, king f6, king g2, king e6, rook c5, pawn c5, rook e3, king d6, rook e7, king e7, and then you're in a king and pawn ending.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
White has
maybe...
the-
Yeah, maybe it's winning somehow, who knows? Outside
Yeah,
majority,
who
you were going to
knows?
say? Rook e2...
Yeah. Maybe he's gonna bring the king to f3, but he didn't want to allow the option of e2 or something.
Yeah, and I guess e2 instead of a5 didn't work because of rook d2.
Mm-hmm. Maybe rook f... no.
You know what? Instead of... No, it still didn't work.
Maybe black is gonna wait for king f3 and then play rook f6 check. And then go back or something.
Yeah.
The white king can come around to d3. Yeah, probably.
I think black might be tempted into playing rook f2, king somewhere, rook f2. Sorry, rook f6 and then rook f2.
Yeah, I was thinking king e4, rook f2, king d3.
Yeah, or just take and play rook d1. I think I would probably take and play rook d1.
Okay. Just to ensure the trade.
Yeah, just really want to trade rooks.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it would be so hard to win, but I think actually maybe it's not.
Oh yeah, I think it would be very easy.
Yeah, because like you just use the light squares and
Mm-hmm.
nothing can really be done.
Your king just parks in front of the pawn, and then you just win with your extra pawn and your extra exchange on the queen side. Your extra pawn on the queen
Yeah. G5, rook f5, maybe?
Oh yeah, you mean if black plays g5 here?
Yeah, well, I wanted to get, I want to get more pawns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, like who wouldn't want to take more of your opponent's pawns in an endgame? But
Mm-hmm.
let's see, slightly llama did end up winning.
Slightly llama even.
Sorry, oh my gosh, man, this poor guy. My
It's so much
apologies.
cooler to say like slightly llama though.
Well, there's like
that's
20 L's in like llama, so I'm just primed. I'm expecting a L in the other word too.
true. I guess black did go for your. Oh no, black didn't choose either one of our suggestions. They played. Oh, that's because white played knight f2. All right, never mind.
Yes. I'm looking at the Terry Liang game again.
Okay. Seems like not that much has happened since we left it.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Your
I think,
rook's
I
got
mean,
traded.
White's making some progress, right?
Mm-hmm. Black has 2 pawns for the piece. It's not over.
Yeah, I think every trade is helping White though, just because the pawns are so firmly blockaded. Like it's the D and B pawns, and those knights are beautifully placed.
I think this move forced another trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, the knights are on beautiful squares. Can't kick them out.
Yeah. Even Black's rook is almost like in some problems, although
Mm-hmm.
not quite, probably.
Next, probably white wants to go rook b8, so maybe black should play rook d7 and try to dislodge the knight or something.
Yeah, and rook d7, knight 4 to f5 runs into g6. I
Knight
think.
4 to f5. Oh, knight. Yeah, I was looking. I thought you were saying knight 4 to b5, but yeah, knight 4 to f5, right?
Yeah. Let me also. Okay, Bonnie lost. Is that what we expected?
Ooh,
Yeah, that
yes,
is
that
what
was the
we-
game where
yeah.
Charles was up in exchange.
Yeah, and he just eventually. Yep.
And black did eventually win that game with the queen versus the pieces.
Yeah, I want to see a little bit of that one. So
Mm-hmm.
he traded on d8. Maybe that wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think you should give up the bishops there.
Although the f3 pawn was hanging, so. Yeah, once, man, like black got so many passed pawns going,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was really nothing to do.
Yeah.
So the k5 and k3 are done. We also had a draw in the. Oh man, so the game where like black won a piece in the k3, the calm, skillful spy game.
Oh, yeah.
They
Ooh,
ended
the
up
knight
winning it
on
back.
e5
Yeah.
got taken.
White got a little too eager to activate their king.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, well, they had an extra pawn, but it was objectively drawn. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, black just resigned in the flying ninja game after the queen trade.
Ooh, okay. I think probably fair. I mean, the b pawn was dropping, and yeah, there wasn't much.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have quite done it yet, but definitely
Sure.
it's a fair place to resign. So the k8 Oh, well, I guess we have to look at Nick versus Christmas Elephant. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how about those usernames?
Is this K8?
Yeah. And it's 3 pawns against a bishop.
Ooh. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I hope we get to take d2, but I don't think we should get to take d2. What would you play here?
For black?
Yeah.
Well, I don't... yeah.
Yeah, I thought about something like this, but I mean, now we do get, like, right, queen g5 or queen h4 followed by taking on d2, so... I mean, I might be starting to like white's position a little bit.
How about we move the king, rook takes d2, rook takes h5, check, queen takes h5, rook h6.
Oh man, I was
there was going to be a
so
rook d8
optimistic.
check in here, but there's not.
Yeah, no, that's a really good line. Maybe you should play g4 first as white. Don't take on d2 quite yet.
You should be able to get d2 now until you're attacking it twice, and black doesn't even have it protected. So I kind of like g4, yeah.
Now, g4, do you think... Oh, we're going to see your line. I was going to say g4, f5 might be an interesting move.
Yeah, I like it.
Like, that's some real computery stuff. Although, maybe there's just queen takes. What happened? Ooh.
Rook g6. What a move. I guess queen e5 wins, though.
Yes. Yeah, rook takes h5 was... Your idea was good. Oof.
Ooh, queen e5 missed.
Well, now rook takes h5
wins the game.
Yeah, I mean...
Queen h2 forced.
Right, queen h2.
Is there a mate there after the... I guess it's not.
Yeah, I mean, there's mate in something, I bet.
Yeah. Also, the rook on g1 will be hanging after king takes h2, rook h6 check.
Yep, good point. Man, very back and forth.
Yep.
So now queen e1 is a threat.
Queen e1, rook f2, rook g6. Queen... I wanted queen c1 to work somehow.
Oh, yeah, sure. I thought rook f6 also, but I mean, it's really... all roads lead to Rome. Probably.
Was there one other game in the K8? Oh, no. It's now just this one.
Yeah, we've got the chess P game still going on.
Yeah. Oh, that's a rook and pawn end game. That's kind of interesting.
I think it's going to be winning for black, or maybe already is winning for black. Would you agree?
It probably should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if white's lucky, then eventually black will sacrifice their rook on c8 for the pawn, but then black is going to have so many advanced extra pawns.
Yep, I think so. I even thought about playing f5 before g4, because I thought maybe I actually want to play f takes g4 and just have the pawns further away from white's king. But I bet this is totally, like, now... Okay,
f5 and king g5.
f5 and then king g5.
Yeah. Yeah, black should have this one. Only thing you might need to sometimes watch out for is, like, you know, white's pushing the c-pawn up the board, and black thinks, oh, I'll sacrifice eventually, and then white plays, like, rook c4 type of move, and then you realize you missed that.
Missed your chance to sacrifice. King e5 or king e2 check.
Yeah.
There's just not much there for white. And white resigned in the Christmas Elephant game.
Okay.
I think that your rook takes h5 was just completely winning, right?
I don't know. I can check it really fast.
I think it was. I'm checking it. Yeah. Well, -3 or -4.
Was it the best move?
Yeah. It was the only move, actually, I think, for
Okay.
black to be better. I don't even know.
So should c5, king g5, rook c4 be calculated at all, or
Yeah, I mean,
does it need to be?
maybe.
g2, c7.
I
No,
don't even,
probably not.
I don't even know if you had to play king g5. Like, maybe it was easier to go g3 first, but yeah, like...
I think black could have taken on c4 if white played rook c4.
Because of the skewer at the end, yeah.
So now g3, like you said, and just...
Yeah.
Yep.
2 pawns are better than 1 in this case. I don't think we're even going to see your idea of like rook c4 at some point, just because white's not really going to have time, yeah, to push their pawn.
White will probably drop the rook back to the first rank at some point, and then the idea won't be there anymore.
And then the f pawn will start.
Yeah, this is just too slow.
Yeah, although at least... Well, no, I mean, at least nothing. I don't know. I almost like doing this just to try and confuse matters, but... I mean, the f pawn... Yeah, there's not much to confuse. You know, I was going to say that with the king still on g5, like if black had played 54, f4, white goes c6, f3, c7, f2. Actually, after f2, maybe. Like, I wanted rook d5 check and then c5, but I was going to say that g1 promotes with check. But, I mean, it's just hopeless. I'm just looking for anything I can find, but there's nothing.
I feel like if I were black, I would have been using my f-pawn more instead of my king so much.
Yeah, it's more important to get the f-pawn up there than to get the king up there. Maybe rook... yeah,
like, rook d2 check was almost working, for example, but the problem is the white king was on the d file also.
And also black would have just promoted afterwards, so... Yeah, this one does not work, unfortunately. That f-pawn is going to run all the way home. Okay.
Yep.
So we've got our final standings. In the K12, Donkey Kong Donuts had 4 out of 4, and then Mr. Biscuit Chess and Panther VK both had 3.5 out of 4.
Wow. Donuts and biscuits at the top.
Yeah, it's making me hungry. I didn't really have... I had 2 macaroons for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Or macarons, I don't know. In the K8, 2 players with 4 out of 4, Black Panther and Terry Liang, and then the Greek Gifter with 3.5 out of 4.
I like that name.
I'm sad we missed out on this game. In fact, I'm gonna pop open his last game. Did he... No, he didn't do a Greek Gift. Okay.
That would have been so epic.
Yeah. I bet he's, you know, he's always trying for it, probably. That's what I would do if I had that username.
Oh, yeah.
In the K5, we had 1 perfect score, Charlie LS, and then 3.5 out of 4s. I'll let you say number 2, Justin, because you're so good at it.
I was just going to say Chess Nautilus, but maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't know.
No, I think you're correct, and I was wrong. And then Neuro Chess Master and Jaguar King.
Very nice.
And actually, Jaguar King, I think...
Oh,
yeah, he missed the first round, and then he won all his games. So it's pretty impressive. And in the K3, Madhouse Han? I don't think that's right. I apologize. And John Southridge with 4 out of 4s. And then Cool King 0727 with 3.5.
Oh, I like that username, too.
Does it remind you of Kool-Aid? Because I was about to say...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool kid, cool aid, cool king. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tidy Teal Tulip coming in fourth. Honorable mention.
Oh, special shout out to Lion King 2020, one of my students in Climb the Rating Ladder.
Oh, which is an excellent class, by the way. With an excellent instructor.
It's going great.
It's going great. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
All right, thanks. Bye, everybody.